Turn my microphone up. There we go. Hello, everybody. Can you hear me now? Hello, James Taylor. Hello, Chris. Hello, Austin. How is everybody out there in YouTube land? YouTube, how are you today? Can you see and hear me just fine? Lily, don't even start. Kennel. Hello, Nana Grace. Hello, Christine. Hello, Catfish. Hey, Mike, no sound. Really? You're not getting any sound? Good in you. Okay, people can hear me. I just turned the volume up. Please check it again, Mike, see if you get any sound. Is that the same time zone as North Korea? Doing good. Hey, Chris, thank you. Hey, Patrick. Hello, Gavin. Hey, Steve, how you doing? Get. Go, kennel. Okay, I see this is going to be a rough one today with Lily. Hello, Bob and Deb. Mike, Lily, go lay down. Kennel. Kennel. There you go. We'll just nip that in the bud. There we go. Happy Sunday. Hey, Christy, thank you. Hey, Peaceful Don, what's the latest? Hello, Terry, Arthur. We're gonna get to it here in just a little bit, guys. I always wait a little bit, wait for the room to fill up, wait for people to straggle in, that kind of stuff, you know. Give them a minute or two to get in the door. Then we'll get into all the details and the whys and whatnots and wherefores. You might notice something a little different on my screen, although I have to admit, from what I can see from my angle, it's not very clear. Can anybody read the chat? Because I'm not reading the chat, but I set this up this way. I finally got it so the chat could be on the screen so people that watch afterwards would be able to see what's on the chat, but looks like my upload speed quality is so poor that the chat may not be legible, in which case this is all a waste of time setting it up that way. Only took me a few hours to get that set up, but what the hell. This time, yeah, I've got the chat in there. Well, maybe, if you can read it. Hey, Mike Smith. Your message feed and picker blurry. Message feed is unreadable. Yeah, can't read the chat, huh? Oh, crap. Well, I tried. Huh. On my feed, it's coming up really clear. It's just obviously not coming clear in the broadcast. I wonder if when we go back and replay it, if it will be better after it has a chance to render and do its thing. But right now, it's not looking very good. And where I am up here in Alaska, there's nothing I can do to improve my upload speed. It is what it is. I can't really do much to improve my quality. Let me try pushing it here just a little bit and seeing if we can't get it just a little bit legible. Yeah, see, I'm already at 1200. Let me try taking it to 1600, well, 1500, and seeing if that makes a difference. Guys, if I start buffering a lot, let me know, but I just tried to improve my stream quality. Hey, Don B. I just pumped my stream quality up to a little higher res. Give it a minute to hit at your end, and maybe that'll help. But if I start buffering a lot, I'm going to have to slow it back down. I just turned up my bit rate. So all this technology. Hey, Second Chance, how are you doing, buddy? You are blurry too. Yeah, I'm not using the same camera setup. The last time I actually did the live stream with my cell phone. Now I'm using my camera on my computer. It doesn't do such a great job. Maybe it needs cleaned. Although on my editing software it looks really clean. But I don't know. Guys, it is what it is. So chat is clear on the right side of the view, left side's cloudy. Okay. Well, we'll keep working at it. Maybe one of these days we'll look professional. In the meantime, you're just going to have to deal with us old codgers up here in Alaska just being second rate, I guess. So, Chip, I always look blurry. Even when I'm in focus, I'm still blurry. See if you can remove that chat display from the video. I can, but not in midstream. So I'm not going to try to play with that midstream, Don. But it is what it is. We'll just see. Maybe the replay will be clear. That's right, Donna Grace. Maybe it will. Hello, Mark Hind. How are you? So, well, anyhow, guys, let me kind of get into it. We've had a few minutes here for people to wander on in. Who needs professional? It's not about how good it looks. It's about the content that matters. Well, thank you, James Taylor. I appreciate it. It's coming down at 240p, Grandpa. Should be okay when you encode it later. With the live stream Second Chance, I don't get to encode it. It does that automatically through YouTube. I mean, it's not like I run it through my encoder and then reload it. It loads itself up directly. So we'll keep working on it, guys. We'll keep working. Hey, like everything else in life, it's a work in progress. So we shall see how things go. Hello, Marie. How are you doing? Okay. Are you lonely, a little depressed, facing another Arctic winter? Peaceful, Don? Yes, yes, and yes. Today's been particularly hard because today is the day I really thought I would be driving away from Alaska for the last time. So today's been a little rough in that regard, but I've been trying to keep myself busy and pushing on. So chat on my PC isn't showing. Huh. I said when YouTube encodes. Okay, Second Chance. I misunderstood that. Okay, I got it. I got it. Take two and hit to the right. Take two and hit to right. Okay, whatever that means. See, Compromise. I like your new video. Yeah, I like Compromise's new video too. SV Compromise is in the house, guys. Second Chance Sailing is in the house. Everybody here that has a YouTube channel, give yourself a shout out so people can go to your names and like you guys and subscribe. Every one of you guys that's on the chat that has a YouTube channel, make a comment saying, hey, I've got a channel, check me out, whatever. Give yourself a plug. Rhonda, Cheshire Canary, has a YouTube channel. Guys, get on there and say, hey, I've got a channel, check me out. This is time for you guys to do that. It's perfectly good to do that right now. Jump in there and say, hey, I got a channel. If anybody wants to check it out, please do. So I, for one, as a YouTuber, like to support all the other YouTubers I can. There's plenty of room for everybody on the internet. So let's go forward and do this. You're a rich man, you have a dream. Yes, Gary, I am a rich man because I do have a dream and I have a passion. And more importantly, I've got a wonderful community of friends and people that hang out with me on these chats and talk and visit. And to me, that's the value. That's the wealth in man. You know, money's just paper and coin. You know, it's paper and minerals. It really has no meaning and it has no home. But the friends that I've made on here and the people that I've gotten to know and the lives I've been able to touch, that's where the wealth is for anybody. So I appreciate that, Gary. You're absolutely correct. LuckyVapes.com. Okay. If you're into vapes. Captain SV Catfish. There you go. You have a YouTube channel, don't you? Vid quality on my Samsung is 5 is better than PC. Oh, cool. Renty, I've watched them too, as well as Rigging Doctor. Very cool. Yeah, Britain Cam. Very good channel. Selling Britain Cam. Hey, King of Chuck. How you doing, buddy? As well as Rigging Doctor. Okay, just subscribe to Second Chance Sailing. Well, there you go. Yes, Grandpa, like you, we try to help people along our way. Pity the big boys don't. You know, Second Chance, I'm going to jump all over that right now because I saw something today that really kind of bothered me. I was watching a YouTube channel that has another couple that also has a YouTube channel visiting with them on board, working as crew, basically, for this other channel. And I'm really unhappy with the way the big channel, this is a channel with over 100,000 subs, really disappointed with the way they're treating this new up-and-coming channel. So I'm going to give a shout out there to DJ Dives, because I think these guys are getting a bum deal where they're at, and I really hope they get on their own boat soon and start. I mean, I know they're making content. Check them out, DJ Dives. They're really good folks, and I hate seeing big guys just sort of running over the little guys like that. So I was fishing the whole weekend and didn't do anything on my. You were fishing, you dirty dog. I wish I was fishing. I'm a real estate lawyer for many years, seeing a lot of creative deals these days. Yes, Peaceful Don, and I just had a very creative deal that just fell apart. So, and I'm going to talk about that here in just a minute. We've got some good news in that regard. Thank you, Steve. King of Chuck. Yes, you know who I'm talking about. Well, good, King of Chuck. I'm glad you're following him. That's cool. Hey, last nice guy. Sup, dude? All the regulars here. That's right. All the good-looking people are in the house. How's the fire going? Nice and warm. Actually, I got to laugh, guys. I ran myself out of here today. I ended up throwing an extra. I knew better. I ended up throwing an extra log or two on the fire because it was still a little cool this morning. And sure enough, that fire kicked up and ran me out of the house. Ran it up to about 85 in here. I had the window and the door wide open trying to cool the cabin back down. So I know better this time of year. But, you know, I got up this morning. It was 35 Fahrenheit outside. Yes, that's right. 35 degrees Fahrenheit outside. It was a little chilly. Got down to, I think it was 59 inside the cabin, a little under 60. So it was a little chilly. So I wanted to get a fire going to warm things up. And now it's about 60 outside, and I had it like 85 here in the cabin. So I had to air it out again. But that's winter up here in Alaska this time of year. You know, it's all over and it's crazy. So, and I do like to keep the cabin warm. I was trying to kind of get my mindset about the tropics, so I keep it really hot in the cabin. It doesn't take much. That little cheap Chinese stove I have here in the cabin really is way too big for the size of this cabin. So, yeah, James Taylor, it was 35 this morning, about 60 right now. Gramps in the house. Yes, I am. Mike, how you doing? Where's Donna? Donna is in Dallas, Texas, where she lives. She's down in Texas. Hey, Coyote Pete, how you doing? There's Donna. Hello, everyone. Donna says hello. Everybody can say hello to Donna. Hey, Keith. Triple digits in Southern California. That's crazy. Peaceful Don, I like your Gandhi comment. That's absolutely correct. It comes from indomitable will. Grandpa, if you had your sailboat the Caribbean right now, what would you do as Hurricane Irma approaches? I would sail south right now. Hurricane Irma is turning to the north, Fetty. I'll go ahead and jump into that right now. Hurricane Irma is heading to the north. It looks like she's going to run north of Puerto Rico. They're certainly going to get high winds and some rain, but they're not going to get a direct hit from the hurricane. She is now running north. In fact, let me kind of just jump into there because I prepared some visual aids, guys. So here's Irma right now. Irma is sitting in the South Atlantic. She is whipping up a storm, 115 mile an hour winds, traveling at about 15 knots less, I think. I can't read the thing, it's too small here. But she was heading over towards Puerto Rico in that area. In fact, here's the direction. Now, these are right from NOAA. She was heading right towards, hey, Tomer Levy, she was heading right towards Puerto Rico. But now the latest news is it looks like she's going to turn. Do you see that turn she's making? It looks like she's turning even further north and is going to be moving well offshore Puerto Rico, more in line with hitting the Bahamas, actually, are going to get hit now. And she'll probably make landfall in the U.S. and the Carolinas, missing Florida and Georgia altogether. So it's going to get hairy up there. But fortunately, it does look like she's going to run north of Puerto Rico, which is the important thing. And so, you know what, guys, I'm just going to jump into this stuff while I'm talking. I want to talk to you guys about another channel. You know, we were giving shout outs before. Has anybody seen this channel, Life is Like Sailing? Let me see a thumbs up. And by the way, give my channel a thumbs up while you're doing it. But how about some thumbs up or something? Who's seen this Life is Like Sailing channel? This is a fella on a small boat now with his girlfriend. They're over on the Southeast Alaska area sailing. Papa's getting all techno. Hey man, I'm learning here. I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm a friend of his. Good deal, Coffee Time. I'm glad to hear that. I want to give him a shout out. Life is Like Sailing. This guy's putting out some really good video. In fact, I want you guys to go and watch his latest video that he just put out. It's actually pretty funny. I'm going to show you a clip that I stole from his channel. I kind of ripped this off. But I did this because something was bothering me and I wanted to touch base with it. Now here he is on his boat. They're fishing. They got a halibut on the line.
Sure, it's a big halibut.
And I thought that was something weird. I was watching him reel this fish in, and I said, there's something wrong. The rod's not right. Then I realized he has his fishing reel mounted backwards.
Oh, you are doing a good
So
job.
that he's cranking it left-handed counterclockwise instead of cranking it right-handed clockwise. So
oh my God.
A little bit of an error. Look at this fish, though. That's a halibut, guys. That's about an 80 to 100-pound halibut that he hooked on the line. But the reason why I wanted to show you guys the clip is, you know, I talk a lot about fishing. Here's the thing, guys. You're on a sailboat. You've got 3.5, 4 feet of freeboard. That means where your feet are is 3.5 to 4 feet above the water level. Now you got a 100-pound fish on the line. What do you do?
Oh.
Your fishing line isn't big enough. You can't just flip that up into the deck onto the boat like you would a bass. What do? How do you get a fish like that in the boat? See, this is some of the things that people got to think about before they go fishing. You set up your weight and you set up your bait to go ahead and catch these big halibut. You got to be prepared for it. Now, in this case, he did have a gaff. Yes, King is Jackie, right? He did have a gaff. But still, he's only one guy and his girlfriend with one gaff. That's a big fish. You better have a pretty stout gaff if you're going to get that fish in the boat. So this is where you have things like they have harpoons now. And I didn't have a picture of a harpoon. I didn't find one, but they have harpoons that you can use that you can pop through that fish, which will give you a second purchase point on it. But he did what was really smart of him because he had a friend in the area. He had his girlfriend go get his friend.
See if he can give us a hand.
And his friend came over and there they go.
Okay. That's teamwork.
Teamwork.
Guys,
thank you.
That's a lot of halibut.
Oh, yes.
That is just a whole bunch of fish coming up onto that boat.
The Lord works in a serious way.
Yeah, we're glad.
Wasn't that awesome? Have some reels, have reversible crank handles. Actually, no, Winging It Tracy, in this case, he just had the reel mounted backwards. If he unmounted the reel and turned it 180 degrees and reattached it, then the crank would be on the right side, cranking the right direction. So use one of your sailing winches. Now, Chris, that's an interesting point. Yes, he could have done that. He could have done a tail wrap on the fish and used the ship's winch to grill it, to crank it up and get it back on the boat. But see, this is the kind of stuff you need to think about before you drop your bait in the water, guys. So you got to have that stuff prepared and be thinking about it. $1,000 fish. No, that's not a $1,000 fish, Mark. That's a small halibut, guys. We get some of them up here in Alaska in that 400 or 500 pound range. That's only about an 80 to 100 pound halibut. That wasn't that big. I mean, it was a good sized halibut. Don't get me wrong. They're going to be eating halibut for a month out of that fish. There's plenty of steaks in that fish. But no, that's not a record fish by any means for up here in Alaska. Donna's saying hello to everybody. Hey, Donna. His name is Alfie. Yes, that's right. His name is Alfie. Really good guy. It's a good channel. Let me go ahead and pop a link to his channel on here so you guys can go check him out. But Alfie does a really good job. You can hit a link. Right there's the link that I just posted. You can go check Alfie out and subscribe to his channel. So, patience. One who tires out first loses. Yeah, with halibut, that's a lot of really good eating, guys. That's a lot of really good eating. There's very little out there that eats as well as halibut. It's a very meaty, so it's a very thick, almost like steak consistency type meat, but it's pure white and it's just delicious. Just absolutely gorgeous. So, hey, Tim K, how you doing, buddy? Immediate dust off, nuke it, remove it. It's the only way to be sure. Yeah, Keith, 80 to 100 pounds is a lot of food. He'll probably end up netting somewhere in the neighborhood of 35 to 45 pounds of fillet out of that fish. That's boneless, skinless meat. And, with only 2 people on board, 40 pounds of meat is, 20-day supply. Probably more than that. Probably 40, 60, 80-day supply. I mean, you only eat, what, a quarter pound or maybe a half pound? Use dynamite. Crushed garlic halibut steak. Awesome. Oh, man, yeah. Halibut on the grill. Phenomenal. Phenomenal. But yes, Tracy just brought up a very interesting point. Okay, hope he has a freezer. That's right. I hope he does have a freezer. Because if he doesn't have a freezer, that meat's going to go to waste. Now, in this case, he's going to share it with the guy that helped him get it out of the water, which, of course, is what a lot of cruisers do. And as a lot of you guys will learn, or if you don't know already, when you're in a sailboat and you're moving from point A to point B, when you get to point B and you pull into the harbor and you caught, a couple nice fish along the way, you get on the radio through the harbor and you say, hey, this is so-and-so. I just got here into this harbor and anybody want some mahi-mahi? Anybody want some tuna? Swing by and we'll give you some. We caught a big one on the way here. And that way you share the wealth. You make a bunch of new friends and you're not having to worry about not having enough freezer space for the fish you just caught. Of course, the key thing is, and one of the things I try to do, I keep my lures small, my bait small. I try to aim for the smaller fish. I just have a wee little old frying pan, guys. I don't need to catch great big huge fish. They are fun to do occasionally, but man, that's a lot of work and that's a lot of muscle needed to pull that thing up out of the water and stuff. So, hey, Weigold, how you doing? If I missed anybody, because I've been sitting here running my mouth talking, I'm sorry if I didn't say hello. Hello to anybody I may have missed on the chat. I didn't intentionally miss anybody, but sometimes I get excited about stuff I wanted to show you guys, and I wanted you to know about that guy's channel, Life is Like Sailing, so you can go check him out. So, live aboard on a CNC 34. He's got lots of conveniences. Yes. Yeah, Coffee Time. He's got a well set up boat. That is absolutely sure. Friends bring beer. Gary, if they're smart, they do. If they're smart, they do. Thank you, Donna. A person with a new idea is a crank until the idea succeeds. Very true, Don. Very true. Hey, Brett. How you doing, buddy? Hashtag freed Brett. Hashtag free Brett is in the room. Hey, Brett, do you or anybody else know what happened to Bob? Bob is MIA. Bob from Sailing Doodles is MIA. No live streams, no Facebook posts. He hasn't responded to my text or phone calls. He's just like disappeared. So if anybody's heard from old Bob, tell him to get in touch with me. I've been trying to update him as to what's been going on, but I haven't heard a word. So he's at Burning Man, folks. He's at Burning Man, and he is not where he gets cellular service. So if he doesn't drive his butt out someplace to go check his messages, there's nothing any of us can do to get in touch with him. So hope he wasn't the guy that ran into the fire. Oh, I didn't hear about that. That's sad. That's sad. Hey, Steve, I just got your text messages. I'll look at them later, ma'am. Bob's telling dudes, right? Well, have you guys actually, or are we just rumor gossiping here? Selling Man does end today. Yeah, Selling Man ends today. So Bob should be coming around and rejoining the living here pretty soon. So, hi, Carl. Just checked in to see the halibut. Made me hungry. Oh, man. Awesome. Awesome fish. Awesome fish. I sent him an email today so far. No feedback. Yeah, I can't get him to respond to anything. So, oh, it's coming too fast. Give it a day or two, he'll surface. Yeah, I hope so. I hope the threat he got was not real. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, that guy wanted to get him. So they even cut live feed to the Burning Man. Wow. Bob's in jail, busted for dancing naked in a cage. Oh, maybe with pasties on, with little hand pasties on his boobs, huh? Did I watch the latest Wins video today? Yes, I did, Christy. I was just talking about that earlier today. Yes, I did. What was your thoughts about it? Oh, I need to, Christy. Yeah, Christy. It was an interesting video, Christy. But I'm interested to get your perspective on it. Texas, and I'm drinking a glass of red wine. Cheers. There you go, Donna. Well, it's only 3:25 up here in Alaska, and so I'm drinking one of those Diet Pepsis I bought. What crap! I shouldn't be drinking that stuff, but okay. So elsewhere in the news today, some other things I wanted to discuss was: Did anybody see the video clip? And I know this is political, and I shouldn't talk politics, but this isn't anything controversial. I'm just saying, did anybody see the clip of the Don helping out the victims down there, the flooding victims? I've never in my life have I seen a U.S. president actually online loading trucks, carrying the actual bottles of water and stuff, and throwing it in the back of pickup trucks to help people. I mean, they go down and fly over it with FEMA and from their helicopters and look at it or that kind of stuff, or create a problem making a traffic jam with all their cars. But I have to admit, I was impressed to see him down there trying to help out the victims and was literally in the line carrying and toting and helping out just like anybody else. I thought that was awesome. And that's the extent of my politics in this. I just wanted to throw that out there. I thought it was cool. And the only reason why I'm bringing it up is because it kind of almost made a tear rise up in old grandpa's eye seeing this guy trying to do that. I wish more people were down there trying to help out. I wish I could get down there and help out, but I can't. So, Bernie will do that. Yeah. Yep. No politics. Yep. He did the same thing last year in Baton Rouge when Obama. Oh, really, James? I hadn't seen that. So, okay, I'll get the hell out of here quick. Yeah, no more. That was it. I just wanted to say that one thing. I'm not saying he's good, bad, or otherwise. I'm just making one comment. So, anyhow, further in the news, update. Let me give you guys the latest on what's going on up here with the sale of the farm. Okay. I felt really bad about dropping the ball for Bob and losing my real estate deal. So here's what I've done. I have dropped the price of my property to $15,000 below the appraised value. So right now I've priced my property at $199,900. Trying to get a buyer to come quickly so we can move along very quickly. Now here's the result of that. I just did that day before yesterday. I had people here looking at the property yesterday. Very interested folks. Spent over an hour with me looking around. Thank you, whole shot, buddy. I appreciate that, man. I really do. You are a trooper as always. Anyhow, I had people here for, and not to belittle the money, I do. I just wanted to tell my story here. $199,900. $199,900. I got under $200,000. As a realtor, guys, I can tell you a lot of people get on the internet and they enter a search, and $200,000 is a big step to go over. So I wanted to get under $200,000. So I'm $15,000 below asking price. I had people here for over an hour yesterday. I had a couple calls last night. Now today's been a little quiet, but it's been kind of rainy and overcast. But I was pretty amazed at how quickly people were calling me. I've got some more people coming out to look at it here very soon. Yes, whole shot, $15,000 below the appraised value. I want to get out of Alaska and get on a sailboat quickly. I'm trying to make that very clear. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, and that's what I'm moving towards. What if you sell your property and rough seas is no longer available? Then I'll buy another boat. There are a ton of boats. Actually, guys, here's the thing. The lady that was going to... No, I'm not talking to that lady ever again. I don't care if she came up with cash right now. I don't want to talk to her. Well, that's not true. If she came up with cash, I would sell it to her. I'm sure she knows I dropped the price, but even at that price, she's still short. Keep in mind, she was short of $20,000 just on the portion of the down payment that I needed. She actually would owe a lot more than that. She's not even in the neighborhood. She's not even close. So, hey, Kellyanne. That was a great video you did showing the property. Well, thanks. I appreciate that. Anyhow, so I've got people coming later this week. One of the calls I got was a lady saying her husband was coming up he's in the lower 48 or something. She's here looking at property. They're going to be here in a couple days to look at the property as well. Point is, all of a sudden, I'm getting activity. I'm getting showings. I'm getting phone calls. I'm getting activity. That activity is going to result in a sale here pretty soon. So I'm pretty excited that we will find somebody here fairly quickly. So just bear with me and we'll be there. Hey, dog, did you see the size of that chicken? I've not been following Burning Man. So, no, I didn't see any chicken at Burning Man. There's always a good boat waiting. Yeah, actually there is. And in fact, this is actually going to work out better for me because even at $199,900, I'll end up with enough money that I can afford looking at that $40,000, $50,000 boats, not at the $20,000 boats. And if I'm looking at a $40,000 or $50,000 boat, I'll be able to buy, no offense to Bob, but I'll be able to buy a much better boat. Not necessarily better, but better for me. I want a boat with a sugar scoop that makes it easier for me to get in and out of when I'm scuba diving or snorkeling or something. I don't like to have to climb up a big ladder to get into the boat. It also makes it easier going into marinas and docks to, have access right almost at water level. So I'm really looking for a boat with a sugar scoop, and I'll be able to afford that now if I sell the property at $199,900. So that's the direction we're going, and I'm doing everything I can to get the price down. I'm $15,000 below the appraised value. The appraised value came in at $215,000. I'm at $199,900. Hopefully it will sell. So I wanted to be clear so everybody understood that because there seemed to be a lot of confusion about what I've been doing. In fact, Donna commented. Donna and I have been looking at some boats, and man, I'm telling you, I've seen a couple real honeys out there. I've seen a couple that are just really nice looking boats I would just love to have. And of course, right now with the hurricane season being going on and all, there's a lot of good boats out there for not a lot of money. So I'm kind of excited that this might, in fact, in the long term and the short term, work out very much to our favor. So at least I keep telling myself that because I was really concerned, today was the day I was supposed to be driving out of Alaska, and here I am. Actually, yesterday. Yesterday was the day I was supposed to drive out of Alaska, but I should have been somewhere in Canada, pulled over somewhere doing my live stream. So let's see, sugar scoop steps on the back of a sailboat. Yes, it's the steps on the back. They call that a sugar scoop. I'm sorry, I should have clarified that. Instant equity, a good selling point. Hey, Home Place, I've been telling people, you've got an arbitrage situation. Buy my property for $199,000, turn around, put it right back on the market at appraised value $215,000. Pick up $15,000 cash. So, KD Marino, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Awesome of you. Thank you, sir. That's really cool. Well, when's the wedding date? You and Donna. Okay, Donna and I haven't even spent any time together, let alone be getting married yet. So let's chill with that conversation for a long time. How much you still owe on the property? About 135. I still owe about 130, 135. So, have you seen Abandoned Comfort? Yes, I like their channel, Jim. Very good channel, Abandoned Comfort. Yep. There are a few really nice boats. Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't want anything that's been gone through the hurricane. I prefer boats that are dry on the inside. So, hey, John Harris, how you doing? So, anyhow, and then I wanted to segue over into another thing. I wanted to try to introduce some, I like to teach and I like to educate people and have some fun stuff. So I thought I would teach you guys a little something today about different species of fishes. Yes, Katie Marino's awesome, huh? Do me a favor, please, Grandpa. Only do a video if the sale is concrete because the emotional roller coaster you took me on. Hey, Keith, I'll tell you what. At this point, guys, I learned my lesson from dealing with this last lady. At this point, I'm really not going to talk anything more about the sale of the property until you see me in my car driving out of here. Because I don't want to put myself in a situation and be taken advantage of like that lady did. So, but I just thought I wanted to make it clear to you guys that I am doing everything I can to get the property sold. So, rough seas went through a couple of hurricanes in Kema. Well, she's missed. She looks like she's going to dodge one right now. So bye, Cam. See you later. Okay, you guys ready for a fish lesson? We're going to do a little fish lesson here. This is fun. There is a fish. I'm going to show you a picture of it. See if anybody can tell me what that is. This fish is one of the fishes that worries me more than any other fish in the ocean, surprisingly. I really dislike this fish, and it's not lethal. Well, I guess it could be. It's not really a lethal fish, but for me personally, I just have kind of a mental problem with it. Bowling pin shark, close. Close. Tilapia remora, it is a shark. It is a shark. Anybody know what kind of cookie cutter? Catfish got it. Yes, this is a cookie cutter shark. And I don't like cookie cutter sharks. And the reason I don't like cookie cutter sharks is this. Cookie cutter sharks have got really huge teeth, but they're called cookie cutter sharks because when they bite you, they bite a really nice little circle out of you. As you can see here on this dolphin. You see this dolphin with this circular cut on the side? This is the result of the dreaded cookie cutter shark. Now, it seems kind of silly and stupid to think about a cookie cutter shark, but as you can see on that young dolphin there, it took a pretty good sized bite. Now, for those of you guys who are a little queasy and can't deal with blood, gore, and guts, things in your teeth, eating dead, burnt bodies, and that kind of stuff, you may want to turn away for this next piece that I'm going to show you. But this is what happens when a cookie cutter shark gets a hold of your arm or your leg, or for us guys, certain other more important parts. So not a pleasant thing to be around. Seeing long distance swimmers get bit. Yeah. Christmas when you need a cookie cutter. Oh God. Also known that as holy crap is right. How common is that? Actually, Wing and Tracy, they are becoming more common as time goes on. They're actually one of the species that is actually bounding back. Sadly, though, I believe the reason why the cookie cutter sharks are growing so much in population is because of all the shark finning going on with the other sharks that would normally predate and eat these cookie cutter sharks. So, with all of the shark finning that's going on, all the sharks being illegally harvested right now, I think that is allowing this species to grow and expand and get into places where it wasn't pretty common, and now it is. So we're beginning to get people with these round. It's almost like a perfect round circle, like a half of a baseball size bite that it can take out of a person, and it does it really fast. It zooms in, smack and gone in the blink of an eye, and you've got a hole in you the size of half of a tennis ball. Just that quick, and obviously you're going to be bleeding profusely from a wound like that. So, Tim, they are in all the oceans. They are in all the oceans. And just on it, it's not that you're catching this fish on your line. What if you're snorkeling or scuba diving? So if you're snorkeling or scuba diving, now dogfish sharks are very similar, but they're just like a smaller regular shark. They don't have that cookie cutter bite, and so they're easier to defend, and they're not nearly as aggressive. These cookie cutter sharks are very aggressive. They will go after you. Yeah, Tim K, yes, they're very aggressive. They just go up and take a bite out of something, and it doesn't really matter what. I've seen great white sharks with cookie cutter bites out of them. I've seen squid with cookie cutter bites out of them. I've seen dolphins, obviously you've seen that picture, and other fish with cookie cutter, big giant tunas and stuff. They go after anything and everything. If it's in the water, they'll go after it, but they're not going to wait and mess with anything small. They're going up for something big. So, Darlindar, okay, catch me up. Are we selling the property and selling? Yes, Darlindar. I thought I made that clear. Okay. Yes, we're doing everything we can to sell the property so we can go sailing. Yeah, Connie, they won't bite lionfish. Lionfish are too small. They won't eat a small fish. They only go after things they can take a big bite out of. Hashtag free Lily. Yeah, she's in her crate snoring right now. We'll just leave her there. So, and you want to go in there with them? Well, sure, Jim. Yeah, fast way to lose weight. Yeah, you got that right. You got that right, Christy. Or I'm sorry, Chris. Yes. Um, Are you worried about ciguatera? Yes, Christy, of course you would be worried about ciguatera. Ciguatera, for those of you guys that don't know, is a disease that you get from eating reef fish specifically. What happens is it's a natural found disease on the reefs, usually in small fish, but when the larger fish eat a whole bunch of those small fish, the larger fish develop a toxic level, whereas normally you would be able to deal with a little bit. So if you eat a big thing like a grouper, as an example, grouper go around eating a bunch of the smaller fish, and then they build up and end up with a toxic level of ciguatera in them. And then if you eat that grouper, you can get sick from that. And so, and deathly, I mean, people have died from ciguatera. It can be very bad. So yes, that's always a concern. And one of the reasons I like to avoid eating the large predators on the reef. I much prefer going for the pelagics, the tunas and the mahi-mahis and stuff. So I thought most sharks keep their distance from humans. Whole shot, most sharks do, but not cookie cutters. Cookie cutter will swim right up to you and take a piece of you in a heartbeat. I don't watch your live or channels much, sorry. No problem, darling dar. That's made a leak in a wetsuit. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Don't swim nude. Yeah. Yeah, you definitely don't want your bait swimming around out there loose. Always wear a banana hammock. Oh, darling dar, no problem. No problem at all. Get a chainmail wetsuit. Yeah, there's something to be said about that, but that might be a little heavy and a little weight to take you down. So how big is a cookie? The cookie cutter sharks get to be, like 30 to 35 inches, and they can take a pretty nasty bite out of you. Joe S. says these fish are typically found in deep water below 3,000 feet in the daytime, but have been recorded at depths of 3.7 kilometers deep. Yes. Yeah, and that's very typical. A lot of fish will go down deep during the daytime and then come up into the shallows. So if you're snorkeling around doing a night dive, these things can be really bad. But there are people that have been bit in the middle of the day. So, hello, Kelly. How you doing? Okay, I can make that wetsuit. Chainmail would be a sink suit. Yeah, it would be kind of heavy to have chainmail on in the water. You'd probably drown from that. How much is Bob going to sell the boat to you for? Right now, Bob is not selling the boat to me. I'm not able to buy the boat. I told him I'd be able to buy it by September 1st. My purchase of my farm fell apart here, so I'm not in a position to buy the boat from Bob right now. Bob's going to have to find another buyer. I just can't do it. I can't do it unless my farm sells, and my farm didn't sell. So hopefully Bob will find another buyer soon. I'm sure he will, because a whole bunch of people have been talking about buying it. So I'm sure he'll find another buyer very quickly. But why not buy the boat on the West Coast? Tim, I may in fact end up doing that, or I may buy something down in Texas. I don't know where I'm going to find a boat at this point. It all depends on when the farm sells. I mean, if the farm were to sell immediately, then I would try to make my word to Bob good and buy the rough seas. But I don't think my farm's going to sell immediately. I think I'm still going to be here for a month or two, maybe 3. Hopefully not more than that, but I think I'm going to be here that long anyway, it takes 60 days basically once I find a buyer to go through the processes and close on it. So I'm going to be here at least 2 months. And at that point, I'm sure Bob will have found another buyer for the rough seas. I'm sorry, there's something bothering my nose. Got a dog hair or something. Kelly mowing video. How's the weight loss going? Whole shot, it was going pretty good, but I have to admit yesterday and today I've been kind of cheating a little bit. So, hey, Steve. Sleep study for apnea, huh? Well, you be careful. Try to stay alive doing that. Tons of deals. It's a buyer's market for now. Yes, it's absolutely a buyer's market. Where are sailboats cheapest besides Houston, of course? Tim, sailboats tend to be inexpensive in South Florida, but also in those dropping off places like La Paz, Mexico is a great place for buying boats because there's a lot of people on the West Coast that buy a boat with the idea of selling around the world. They usually make it down into the Gulf of Mexico before whatever the idea falls apart, the wife falls apart, whatever. There are some spots in the Caribbean where the same kind of thing happens. The Rio down in Guatemala is a river. A lot of boats end up in there and then go up for sale. There are certain places around the world where you can buy a pretty good boat pretty cheaply. So, yeah, I see Sailing 9000 bought a boat. That looks like they got a great deal on it too. Yeah, Puri, actually, it looked to me like the latest forecast showed Irma going north of Puerto Rico. I think you guys are going to get a lot of rain and a lot of wind, but you're not going to get a head-on hit. I think Irma's going to go north of you, Puri. For you guys that don't know, Puri DeLuca and her husband Alberto, really good people that live down in Puerto Rico. They were nice enough to help me out with the rough seas and look at some stuff. So say hello to Puri there, Puri DeLuca. But they're worried about Irma hitting them, but I think it's going to go north of you. At least that's the way it looks right now. So, yeah, and DMC, don't worry. I will be on a boat. Whether it's rough seas or not, I will be on a boat fairly soon. So, 105 watching. Cool. Yeah, Steve, you take care, man. Be safe. Anyone heard from Bob lately? No, we were just talking about that a moment ago. We've not heard from Bob. Everyone's trying to get a hold of him, and he's not responding to anybody. So, Steve, on the other hand, Maui Lay, that lucky dog, he's buying a boat in Virginia, which he closes on Wednesday. Cool, man. Congratulations. He's buying a very nice boat in Virginia. Hey, man. Now, Steve, guess what? Now you're going to be in the way of Irma. Irma's heading right towards you. It's heading towards the Carolinas and going up the East Coast. So I hope you double up the lines and tighten down the hatches and pull all the sails off and get everything stowed away before it gets near you, because that storm will tear a boat up. Why lose weight? You're going to put a weight belt on. Yeah, but not as big a weight belt. Actually, last night's guy, to be honest with you guys, fat is buoyant. So losing weight, I'll actually be able to get down easier. Even with a weight belt on, I have to actually swim to get underneath the water. I bob along on the top of the water pretty. Usually, I'm about what you see pictured. I'm about that high up out of the water usually because I'm just buoyant like a cork. Yeah, Steve, if I was you, I'd really watch NOAA channel and keep an eye on Irma because I think she's heading right to you. Get yourself a nice hurricane hole. Get yourself in someplace secure. I just got here. Lots of people turn their phones off during BM. Oh, Burning Man. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know what we can do. I mean, there's nothing we can do with Bob. He's got to come out and get his messages. So, must be a non-scuba diver. Jim, who's a non-scuba diver? Yes, Christy, I am thinking Irma will not hit Florida. Well, I think Irma may hit North Florida, but the way she's turning right now, looks like she may be heading straight over towards the Carolinas instead. I mean, don't get me wrong, Florida's going to get a ton of rain and high wind. I just don't think it's going to get a direct hit from Irma. So, Grandpa Bob, okay. Greg and my wife kicking and screaming to live in the islands for retirement. Hey, drag her, make her do it, because it's the best thing you could possibly do. How about a project boat? Buy it cheap, build it the way you want, selling only paid $3,000. Yeah, Tim, I'm not really into doing a whole lot of boat work. I've got some specific ideas of what I want to do, and I'm not really looking for a project boat. I'm looking to go out and sail for a while. I'm in Miami and watching yeah, you got to keep an eye on Irma. She's going to head north, so Bob's going to need rehab, maybe. Yeah, it's going to hit the Outer Banks, Steve. I think that's where she's going to go towards. At least, I'm hoping she goes north of that. But the more north she goes, the more she'll peter out. So Just sent you the Watt World ad for a hunter in mid I told you about. Okay, coffee time, thanks. I'll check that out. Size of ladder is more important than the size of the diver. Yeah? Yep, got to have proper gear on board. Some models are still taking Irma into the Gulf. Really? None of the ones that I've seen. All the models that I'm looking at, and I literally just got off of NOAA like 15 minutes ago, and this is right here is the current path they're showing for Irma right now. I mean, I just lifted this off of NOAA about 15 minutes before the chat started. So, well, okay, so maybe an hour and 15 minutes ago now. But, you know, you can see here, she looks like she's running north. And from what I understand, the updates from this one shows it even going further north. So hopefully it won't be too bad. Hopefully it'll blow up further north than that. But you never can tell. She could turn around and head back south. You know, the wind directions can change and she can start moving south again. So, yeah, very unpredictable. They always are. So, news channel, and they said it would be the first category 6. You know, Bill, it's interesting that you mentioned that because, yeah, she's blowing a hoolie out there. She was a category 3 all the way off the coast of Africa, which is unheard of. They usually are only tropical storms till they get halfway through. They usually don't hit category strength or a named storm. They usually don't become a named storm until they get halfway across the Atlantic. So she's going to be a nasty one. I've been looking at some boats in Alaska, just not sure if I'm willing to sail back down the west coast. Yeah, Weigel, there's a few boats up here, but man, everybody wants an arm and a leg for the boats up here in Alaska. They're way overpriced up here. You'd be money ahead to drive down to Seattle and then go down and buy a boat than you would to buy one up here in Alaska. So, although you'd be missing some great sailing between here and there. Oh, Charlie Suppers is ready. Got to go. Hey, Jim, you take care, man. We'll see you later. Would you prefer a sugar scoop rear end to more easily get on board the boat? Yes, Kyle. I want a sugar scoop so it's easier for me to get on and off the boat. It's easier when you're docking to be, be on level with the ground so you can step on off the boat easier. It's easier for my dog to get in and out of the boat. So I'm not trying to pick up a 100-pound dog and raise it up and down 4 feet every time. So yeah, there's a lot of reasons why sugar scoops are popular now and why they're on why most of the new manufactured boats have them. People have learned that that's just a much better way to go. So for the islands, yeah, they do. What is the name of the smaller YouTube channel getting slighted again? What's the name of the small YouTube channel getting slighted? Getting slighted? Oh, DJ Dives. DJ Dives. D-I-V-E-S. Definitely. Wait. Well, yeah, okay. Been through Andrew 92. Don't want to do that again. Nope. Hurricanes are not fun. Florida does have a good deal on both. There's another one right behind Irma. Yes, there is. There's another storm coming right behind Irma. Not named yet. It's only tropical storm status. So, sailing up the Inside Passage. Yes, it is beautiful. It is hazardous, too. A lot of current. And that makes it very difficult motoring. And it's just about all motoring. You can't sail at all on the Inside Passage, hardly. It's just about all motoring. Irma is far out to start worrying. Oh, no, she's not. She'll be here in a couple days. If you own a sailboat, right about now is when you want to start adding some lines, getting your sails pulled in, moving the boat if you need to get into a hurricane hole. She'll be hitting in the U.S. territories the next couple days, so she's not that far out at all. She'll be here pretty quick. If it's a Category 6, I'm going. Hey, if it's a Category 6, it might make it rough up here too. So, yes, whole shot. It's DJ and then Dives. D-I-V-E-S. Hurricanes blow. Yeah. Isn't DJ on the Wind's boat? Yes, Kyle. DJ is currently on the Wind's boat. Yes, that's correct. Make sure your boat is stocked with cocktails. There you go. There's no global warming. Sure glad there's no global warming. Okay, well, we won't go into that, but that's okay. That's okay. Yes, DJs. Yes, I'm sorry. You are correct, Bob and Deb. It's DJS Dives. My bad. I keep forgetting about that S in there. maybe some Jack Daniels, some tequila, some weed. Hey, if I had a storm like that bearing down on me, I might want to do the same thing. So, hey, and guys, I just want to touch base. As 114 people watching here, I made a comment earlier in a video this week. I didn't word it properly, and a lot of people jumped to conclusions on the political side. I just want to apologize for that and get that out there. I have no delusions about how nasty ISIS is. Just wanted to say I apologize for that. So. I apologize for the fact that everybody misunderstood what I was saying. I don't think that ISIS is going to be good or be nice to anybody. They're assholes. So, if it turns to the north, it will pick up speed before it loses speed, so it can be on you before you know it. Yeah, you just never know with the hurricanes. They can whip around pretty quickly. So, DJ Short. Oh, I didn't. Coffee time. I should have realized that. DJ is short for Dale and Justin. Would you ever consider doing the Great American Loop? Barry, not necessarily, but I have looked at some boats in the Great Lakes. So I may not do the loop, but I certainly might do some of the canals if I buy a boat in the Great Lakes. So, Bill, like you, I've had a lot of power boats. And here's the thing, and the deal with sailboats is sailboats cross oceans, power boats cannot. You can't, if you have a 36-foot sailboat, you can put some diesel on board, put your sails up, and you can sail across the Atlantic or across the Pacific without burning any diesel or very little. Power boats, you got to burn fuel all the time, so you have to carry ridiculous, copious amounts of fuel to get anywhere. And that's, to me, is the real advantage of a sailboat. Sailboats will still motor. You can drop the sails, fire up your diesel, and chug along. You can make 6 knots, and you're making 6 knots at at a rate where you're burning very, very little fuel because those diesels are pretty efficient. So learn to sail, man. It's not hard. I don't know why the Winds had another YouTube creator on their boat, but it did seem that they avoided them on this episode. Yeah, I just don't understand why they don't help promote them a little bit. It's not like it's going to cost them anything. They're not going to lose subscribers. They're not going to lose money from it. Why not promote the people that are helping them out on the boat? I don't get that. So it is what it is. No one has asked you to come sail on their boat with them and get you out of Alaska for the winter. Tim, a lot of people have, actually. A lot of people have asked me to come join them. I got to get the farm sold. That's my #1 priority. And if I were to go jump on somebody else's boat, I just, wouldn't be paying attention and dealing with what I got to deal with here. Grandpa don't run from problems, guys. I'm not going to go jump on someone's boat just to go down and have a good time. I have a problem here. I have my money tied up in this property. That's my problem. I'm facing it. I'm working towards that. I'm going to get that done. Get that done, then I can go on to the next thing. But I got to get this done first. So, hey, Georgia boy, how you doing? Jumped. I didn't get to see your whole statement. I just saw you say hello. What else was it? And farm and fam. Yeah, and fam. Great Lakes are great, but only in the summer. Yes, I don't want to winter in the Great Lakes. The Wind show is all about them. Well, every YouTube creator show is all about them, but I try to promote everybody I can. That's why I've said anybody on here has a YouTube channel. Now's the time. Go ahead, and on my I have no problem with you getting on the chat and saying, hey, guys, we have a YouTube channel if anybody wants to check it out, or say something like that. That's fine. Promote yourself. A little shameless promotion on here is not a problem. So, if you have a YouTube channel, you're making videos, you've got my permission to let everybody on here know that you make videos. Doesn't cost me anything. It's not going to upset anybody here watching the chat. Nobody gets bothered by that. Go for a little promotion. So, Georgia boy, man, I appreciate that, dude. I can always count on you to jump in and help out, man. I really do appreciate it. So, I think between you and your friend Holeshot there, I think you guys have paid for that grill I got to get. So, does the owner of the boat pay all the crew expenses? Generally speaking, whoever owns the boat is going to take care of that, but everybody makes their own arrangements. Some people pay to go out on boats. There's a channel, some folks out that have. They have a TV show called Distant Shores. They have a really nice boat that they sail around, and people pay to jump on the boat with them for a while. So, and I mean pay a lot. Like if you want to cross the Atlantic with them, it's $12,000 for a couple to be on their boat while they're crossing the Atlantic. So, of course, they have a lot of experience. You can learn a lot to do that. So, is there a real estate season where your property is? Yes, John, and it is ending. Ending very quickly here. Once the snow starts coming in, things slow down considerably. It's one of the reasons why I dumped the price so low to try to get it sold before winter. You got it right plan, take care of business, and have some fun. Yep, I want to get this off. I want to get this monkey off my back, guys. I got to be free of this. I'm not going to be able to be outside sailing and having fun, knowing I still have shit here I got to straighten out and fix and deal with. I got to put this behind me where I can go forward with a clear conscience. So, Distant Shores has a swing keel, pretty cool for a bigger boat. Yes, they do. That's a very nice thing, especially if you're going in the Bahamas where it's real shallow. That's a cool thing to do. Have you thought about doing merchandise for your channel? Yes, Sally. Actually, I'm in the process of getting a shirt design done. I will try to have some shirts put together, and I have a son that's working right now trying to put together a website for me. So I'm new in YouTube. Is MV Mojito? Go and see it. There you go, guys. MV Mojito is Puri and Alberto DeLuca's YouTube channel. MV Mojito. You are free already. Well, yeah, I'm free. I just got to get this stuff taken care of. So, okay, Chuck. Huh. Sorry if I'm paying attention to my phone here, guys, but I'm really hoping somebody wants to make an offer on the property quickly. So I got to give that high priority. So hopefully property sells. Thank you, Whole Shot. Good Labor Day. Okay. See you, Steve. Do you have a set time for live? I seem to miss it, except today. I claim a senior moment. Yeah, Jasunit 5. I do my live streams on Sundays and Wednesdays. Sundays at 3 in the afternoon for me in Alaska, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And then I do one at 9 a.m. for me here in Alaska. So what's that, 1 in the afternoon on Wednesdays. Wednesday's show is more geared for the people over in Europe and stuff that it's midnight over there for them right now, so they're not paying attention to this. This is kind of like my American live stream, and on the one I do on Wednesdays is more for the people over in Europe. So, or at least that was the thinking at the time. No problem, darling. Mike Smith, dangerous sea creatures. Blue-ringed octopus, yes. They are highly toxic, highly poisonous. You don't want to mess with them. I like sand on my toes, not snow. You got that right, Bill. I'm done with snow, guys. I'm over snow. I've shoveled all the snow I care to ever see in my life. So, Jeff, good job. MV Mojito, you went ahead and subscribed to him. Yeah, Puri and Alberto DeLuca, really nice folks in Puerto Rico. Now, I will caution you, some of their stuff is in Spanish. So, if you don't speak Spanish, then you might want to, estudio español. Yo hablo muy poquito español. For those of you that don't know, I said I speak very little Spanish, so you should study Spanish. 7 p.m. is really late for me, but hey, we'll catch you if I can. Darlindar, no problem. Yes, but Alaska is still beautiful. Yeah, Alaska is gorgeous, guys. Alaska is phenomenal. And there's a lot of really nice assets about Alaska. In the summertime, it's very pleasant outside. Beautiful fishing, great mountains. There's some really nice aspects to Alaska, but 6 months of cold and dark make it not so pleasant, And I mean, when we get into the middle of the winter time, we're only going to have 4 or 5 hours of daylight where I live. And other than that, it's dark all the time. And I go through wood like crazy heating the cabin. So, and that's a lot of work to cut, split, stack, haul, light the fire, burn the fire, clean the fire. Have the fire get hot in here, then get too cold in here. Too hot in here, too cold. It's just a disaster. So, what did Bob say? Bob hasn't said anything. Hey, John from Ohio. Bob is MIA. They're common here, blue-ringed. CPRs are only survival option. Where are you, Mike? that they're common. Oh, you're in Australia? Is that it? Bird-sized mosquitoes. Yeah, Chris, we do tend to get some mosquitoes at times, but really where my property is, I really haven't had much trouble with that. Me holding you back. Do you think someone may be holding you back so you don't advance? Just asking. It was quite strange that this situation occurred with this lady. Darling Dar, I don't know. I don't think there's any like one person holding me back. Karma, maybe. Maybe I was a bad guy in a previous life and I'm catching hell for it now. I don't know. I don't know. I just think this lady was kind of whacked. I know the last house she bought, it took her 5 months to buy the last house she bought. As a realtor, I have access to the MLS papers and records and stuff. So I can see where she lives, and I can see when she bought her house, it took 5 months from the time she started till the time. So she's a problem person anyway in that regard. So I just think she was a bad person for me to get involved with, and I wish I hadn't, but live and learn. So luckily didn't get stung. Wow. Portuguese man of war is not fun. Funny you say that, Grandpa. I've been following Doodles. I don't keep up with the chat fast. I don't read fast, guys. Yeah, ever since he went into Burning Man, Bob's been MIA. So, Peaceful Don says, as a practicing attorney for more than 35 years, I've seen many people like your prospective former buyer. Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of flaky people out there. There's a ton of them. I mean, what it all boiled down to is she was trying to buy a property she just couldn't afford. That's what it all boiled down to. So she led me to believe she had more funds available to her than as it turned out that she had. So that's the way it is. But anyhow, what else can we talk about? Anything positive we can talk about? We've kind of gone through my list of things. We talked about the hurricane, and I had my little slides there, and we talked about the cookie cutter shark, and you guys are all up to speed now on what's going on with my sale here. I guess Miss Lily is wanting out. Probably a mistake, but I'm going to let her loose. So the camera starts shaking a lot, guys. It's because she's bouncing the table here. But have you thought about an investor on your boat? So selling an interest in the boat in exchange for being able to join you? No, Eric. In fact, I had somebody offer to do that for me to buy the rough seas. I'm not really interested in having somebody on board the boat with me in that capacity. So I think you would be one of the realtors I would have enjoyed dealing with. Well, good. Thank you, Peaceful Don. I appreciate that. We don't use real lawyers up here in Alaska. It's all handled by the realtors and the title companies. But I mean, the lawyers draft the deeds and stuff, but that's about the extent of what they do. What's my ideal sailboat? Oh boy, my ideal sailboat is a Lagoon 440. It's a catamaran, a Lagoon 440. I've chartered that boat a couple times. I really like it, and so that's the one that is my fit. Mike, dude, that's awesome, Mike. Thank you, sir. Lily, get. I really appreciate that, Mike. Thank you very much, sir. I will make sure that goes to good use. No, Don, the lawyers here, all they do is prep deeds. The lawyers don't get involved in the real estate transaction. Now, when I lived in New York, I had a real estate, Lily, get. When I had my real estate office in New York, everything was handled by the lawyers. Us realtors would put together the deal, we'd hand it over to the lawyers, and the lawyers would close it or screw it up, one or the other. So that's what we did there. But no, here in Alaska, I put together a deal with buyer and seller. It goes to the title company. The title company closes it. The only thing the lawyers here do for a couple $100, they draft the deed. That's exact. The title companies examine the title. They do all the title search work. And then they provide, both realtors and both buyer and seller with a copy of the title search. So it's guns in Alaska. Yep, lots of guns up here. Give Lily a treat. Okay. Let me give Lily a treat. Hold on. I don't mean to be rude, but the treats are behind me. And that is, in fact, yeah, there she goes. All right, she's in her crate for 2 seconds while she eats that treat. So, who has responsibility malpractice insurance? Nobody. Nobody. As the realtors, I represent the buyer. The other realtor will represent the seller. Of course, we both get paid the same commission, which is usually paid for by the seller. Other than that, there wouldn't be any malpractice insurance because there's no lawyer practicing. As realtors, you're smart to carry E&O insurance, but that's about the extent of it. Hey, Antonio, how you doing? Saw your last video. Don't pay attention to those haters. I'm here to watch you fulfill your dream. Well, thanks, Guy. I really appreciate it. I really do. I mean, that's really cool of you. So, hey, Mike A, I just got to say, man, thank you again. I really appreciate that, man. That was really cool for you to donate like that. It'll go to good use because right now I'm still in the assemblage. I'm still in the assemblage mode now since I'm still here. So I won't buy any fishing tackle with that. But there are some other things that I'd like to pick up before I head out. So maybe that'll be the Mike Albanese or the Mike A Spear Gun Fund. Kirkland bone for Lily. She likes those Kirkland bones. She does. Are the title companies also the escrow company? Sally, as realtors, we have our own escrow accounts. Although I, as a rule, have all of my escrows go straight to the title company. So yes, they do act as an escrow company. Although the escrow for handling things like collection of payments and that sort of stuff is usually handled by the banks up here in Alaska. Defect in Title 4. I don't know, Don. I haven't run into anything like that up here. In fact, I haven't run into anything like that in a while. Usually the title company will work out any defects in the title, in the chain of title. But other than that, I don't know. I haven't seen any problems with that. So we're all waiting for you to sell. Yeah, you and me both. Hey, PC guy, how you doing? I wouldn't do it, Bill. So many different countries have very strict laws against guns. Yeah, guys, actually, guns on board is a huge. I mean, you guys think talking about Obama or the president or talking about ISIS is political. Holy crap, guys. You try sitting in a marina or at a party or on board your boat, and there's two subjects you don't ever talk about. Which anchor is best and guns on board. Those two topics will end up in a fight every single time. So, of course, I'm going to do videos on both of those subjects, and I'm sure I will get beat up for both of them. But still, those are two of the top. I mean, man, ISIS and the Don are nothing politically compared to what's the better anchor and whether or not you should have guns on board. So, and guys, to give you an idea about guns, I'm a former federal firearms licensee. I have owned, bought, and sold thousands of guns in my life. I'm a big-time gun collector. I used to be a nationally ranked skeet shooter. I used to own a gun club. I've done a lot of shooting, done a lot of hunting. I won't have a gun on board. So, give you my personal opinion of it. It's just not worth the hassle. Too many other countries have too many different laws. Does Alaska have... yeah, I don't know, Don. I tell you what, message me and we can talk about all the real estate stuff. If that's okay with you. I've traveled the world. People are the same. Oh, I know that, Don. I've traveled the world too. People are the same, but laws are not. Tactical shotgun for the bow. No, Tim, bad idea. You're going to go into foreign countries that don't have our gun laws. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Retired cop and former Marine. Good job. Hey, Bill, thanks for your service, man. What is the good news? The good news is, Kyle, is I'm getting lots of people looking at my property. I'm getting a lot of interest now. I dropped the price of my property to $15,000 below asking price. So right now I'm only asking $199,900. So really $15,100 below asking, or below appraised value, excuse me. $15,000 below appraised value so I can sell the property quickly. And as a result of that, I'm getting a lot of interest in the property, and I do expect to sell it fairly soon. So a lot of people are coming here looking at the property, and that's what we have to have happen in order to find a buyer. So Peter Blake was shot in the Amazon. Yep. Is there a cutoff time for selling the property this year? No, Mark, there's not. At this point, I have everything that I'm taking with me packed up and inside the cabin, or in a small little storage thing I have outside. So if somebody comes along and wants to buy the property, I will literally take everything that I'm taking with me, put it inside of my 2001 Ford Excursion, and head on down the road with the dog. I've got it all whittled down, packed down, and consolidated so I can fit it inside my truck. Don't even need a trailer on the back. And then I'm just heading to wherever is the first boat I decide to go look at. So, do other countries search your boat for weapons? Absolutely, Tim. They tear your boat apart for weapons. If they think you have one, they're going to shred your boat and confiscate your boat and arrest you. And believe me, you don't want to be in jail on some of these islands. So, BVI asked if your gun on board. Yeah, they all ask. And if you have one and you don't tell them, you go to jail. You go to prison. And some countries, they actually count how many shells you have. Not just whether you have a gun, but exactly how many bullets. And they check it when you check into the country, and they check it again when you leave the country. And if you're short one bullet, you go to jail. I mean, it's not America, guys. When you're sailing around the world, you're dealing with a lot of other countries. It's not Lily. Get. All right, Kennel. Knew I shouldn't have let her out. She's just getting into trouble. You're a sentient being with a curious, active mind and a will and a vision. Well, thank you, Peaceful Don. I think so. It is good and uplifting. It certainly is. I like your attitude, guy. Yeah, it certainly is. But the other good news for people who have been following my story is that it looks like we're going to have the boat sold, or the farm sold fairly quickly. I'm pretty confident right now that we're going to find someone soon. So they throw away the key if you have a gun. Yeah, you don't want to have a gun on board your boat. It's just not worth the trouble. So can't wait to see Grandpa dive from the mast. Mark, that's not going to happen. I do not go up the mast. I just don't go up the mast. I'm too big to go up mast. I hire people to go up masts. Any marina you pull into, they've always got some young skinny kids working there. You send them little skinny guys up the mast. I don't do that. Or you have the mast pulled and laid over and then work on it while it's on its side. I don't go up the mast. If you sell and Bob has already sold the boat, what will you look at buying? Kyle, I'm looking at a whole bunch of different boats. There's literally tens of thousands of boats on the market right now. Typically what I'm looking for is something in that 36 to 45 foot range with a sugar scoop, and I'll be looking for something in the $40,000 to $50,000 range once I sell the farm. Because right now, if someone comes along and wants to do owner financing, I'm not even going to talk to them. I just want a clean sale. I want to sell the property, get my money, and go. So I cruise only U.S. waters now. Times are changing for the worse. Connie, if you only cruise U.S. waters, then certainly I wouldn't worry about having a gun on board. I would have one. If I was going to stay in the U.S., then I wouldn't think twice about having a gun on the boat. I always had guns on the boat, but not for reasons that you think. I used to be a bad guy. I used to do a lot of shark fishing. I used to do a lot of shark fishing when I was younger. And up here in Alaska, you go out for halibut. You want to take that shotgun and like that video I showed a little bit ago, when you get that 150-pound fish up alongside the boat, you take your gun and you put a round to the brain of that fish so it's not flopping around. You notice when the guys pulled that boat up into the dinghy, what they didn't show is they'd already shot that fish before they brought it on board. Because that fish, 100-pound fish, 80-pound fish, flop around on the deck, that'll break your leg, guys. So you got to make sure you kill them before you bring them on board. What self-defense weapons are allowed on the boat? Tim, pepper spray, archery, bow and arrow, gaff hook, fish harpoon, spear gun, pole spear, a knife, baseball bat, any of those things. Taser. You can have a taser on your boat. You can have one of those little electric shock type, taser things. That would work too. So, bear spray tends to work really well. Caspium spray seems to be highly effective. So, crossbows allowed. Sorrenti, it just depends on what country you're in or what state you're in. But yeah, crossbow could be used. I bow hunt, guys, so I can shoot a crossbow or I can shoot a compound bow or a long bow. I'm pretty good with a bow, so I would have pretty good comfort level using a bow if I was out on a boat. and I may take my bow with me. So just in case I decide to go hunting someplace, I doubt I will, but you never know. No, it's hot in here, guys. I should have left the window open. I closed it. Now it's getting hot in here again. Riley from selling the vagabond threw cans of food at the pirates he encountered. Yeah, sometimes Georgia boy just putting up a lot of noise, putting up a big affront and a lot of noise will chase them off. Sometimes just waking up and coming up on deck will run them off. So, super soaker water gun full of gas and a flare gun works well. Good way to blow yourself up, maybe, but okay. Make sure you get the O-Search app to track all the great. Yes, actually, Jonathan, there's a number of different apps that we've been looking at that do that and similar things. Just tagged another 15 pups, 5 foot long, 60 pounds off Long Island. Yeah, Jonathan, I used to fish that area off Long Island. I'm well versed at those waters. I grew up in Port Washington. I used to take my boat down the South Shore. In fact, we would go out and fish for sharks there off of Long Island all the time. So we used to go out of Amityville. Baseball bat, use it to kill fish too. Absolutely. A lot of people shoot a flare gun. Flare guns work. Wasp spray can work. Wasp spray and a cigarette lighter can work if you really want to get ugly. You don't set the sails on fire. That's right. Or the boat on fire. Or yourself on fire. May have missed it. Did you ever encounter pirates or criminals? Offshore, no. While on the boats that I've had, no. I've never encountered pirates. I have encountered criminals, Peaceful Dawn, and most of the criminals that I've encountered were in Ohio. When I lived in Ohio, I have lived in New York on Long Island. I've lived in Ohio. I lived in Montana. I've lived up here in Alaska. I lived in Florida, down in the Florida Keys. And I lived in Bahrain, an island in the Persian Gulf. And I experienced more crime living in Southeast Ohio than I have anywhere else in the world. Yeah, I don't know if I want to get too close to Somalia, Mark. I'll stay offshore there, so... Self-defense weapons limited to the country you visit. In August, no bear spray, taser, slingshot, gun, ballistic body armor, but you can have a crossbow or a bow. In Australia, yeah, it just depends on where you're at, guys. I mean, every place has got different laws. So, what is the one memorable moment in life? Birth of my sons. Equally, I have 2 boys. Seeing them born, that was probably it. No, John, Southeast Ohio. Down in the Hocking Hills by Old Man's Cave in that area, if you know the area. Dello says their best tactic is their spotlights and not saying more than 3 days in a sketchy area. Yeah, Sally, exactly. A good offense is always a good defense. If you encounter real pirates, you anyway better do what they want. Yeah. You're not, it's just a boat, guys. It's just a boat or it's just money. Let them have it, There's nothing worth dying for. So, also track the big girls, Catherine and Mary Lee. Both are over 16 feet, 3,500 pounds. Watch the YouTube videos of them being tagged. Insane. Yeah, there's actually some really big sharks in and around Long Island. So, can't own a taser in Maryland or Massachusetts, huh? Has to fit males or more aboard too, huh? I think I like channel because you're authentic. Well, I tried to be, Don. Yeah, me in Northwest Ohio. Okay. Got to go ground. Hey, Kelly, you take care, buddy. We'll see you later. Yeah, gosh, I had a friend of mine I used to shark fish with off Long Island. What's his name? Oh, gosh, I'm blocking now. Donnie Braddock. Is that it? Donnie Braddock, was that his name? If you live on Long Island, there's a gun store that used to be there on Long Island. Oh, I don't remember the name of it anymore, but there was a big gun store there in the middle of Long Island. And on the wall, they had a big shark mounted on the wall. And that was one that my friend Donnie had caught. The shark was so large that they couldn't get it up onto the boat. They towed it around to the boat ramp and then used a tow truck to drag the shark up onto the deck. It was like 30-foot great white. It was huge. It was just ginormous. So, but yeah, I'm pretty sure his last name was Braddock. Donnie Braddock is who I used to go fishing with, and we fished a couple times together. What parts of the world do you intend to avoid? Cold parts, PC guy, the cold parts. I want to stay in the tropics. But, from a safety standpoint, Somalia is a big place I'd like to stay away from. But, it's just like here in America, I'm not going into South Philly. I'm not going into parts of Detroit, There's some parts of Chicago, some parts of New York I would never go into. It's no different than that all around the world. There's good places and bad places. So the good news is, guys, is that even if I lose a couple 100 pounds, I'm still 6'3". I'm a great big huge guy. People just tend not to screw with me just because of my size. They're afraid to get hurt, as well they should be. So, because one thing us old guys know is that old guys, we don't have the energy to go anymore. We don't dance. We just go for the testicles and get the fight over with quickly. So, big great whites off Montauk. Yeah. We used to fish off Montauk all along the South Shore. We would actually put the boats in Amityville, go straight south out to the canyon, and troll up and down the canyon out there. If the property sells soon, is the plan still to hang out in the Bahamas for the winter? It just depends, whole shot, on where I find the boat. But yes, right now that's what I'm looking for. So, Southern Cal's become a great white nursery. Yeah, it has. Yep, a lot of great whites are starting to rebound, which is kind of cool. So, I would think the Middle East and some parts of the South Pacific. PC guy, I have no problem with going to parts of the Middle East. Some of it I won't go by, but I graduated high school in Bahrain in the Persian Gulf, so I'd like to sail into there. But, I still think most of it is still okay. Just, usually it's the economically disadvantaged areas that become problematic. So, Georgia boy, you're right. Old men don't play fair. We don't have the energy to dance. So, young guys make a mistake of trying to go after us old guys because we don't play games. My grandson learned that the hard way, actually. He was being a little shit to me, and I sat him down and straightened him out real quick, and he realized that old men aren't to be screwed with. So, poor guy. Catherine loves Florida also. She pinged in 20 feet in Biscayne Bay south of Miami before heading into the Gulf. Yeah, they cover a lot of ground. They cover a whole bunch of ground. Darling Dar, we already answered that. And yes, we are ready to sail. I'm betting that this is the first year confirmed great white attack on the East Coast happens. I don't know. Gosh darn whippersnappers. You're right, Sorrenti. Gosh darn whippersnappers. Too slow to run, too old to fight, so I'll just have to kill you. That's exactly it, PC guy. Words. Yes, Donna, I know. But us old men tend to be old men, and actually, I'm going to tell a dirty story here. I'm going to tell a dirty story, but I'm going to try to tell it in a clean way, and it's kind of right in line with what we're talking about here. And it's a story about the two bulls sitting up on top of a hill. There was a really young bull sitting on top of a hill, standing next to a real old bull. And the young bull looks over at the old bull and says, "Hey, why don't we run down there and breed all them cows, or breed one of them cows?" He said, "Let's run down there and breed one of them cows." And the old bull looked at him and said, "Son, let's walk down there and breed them all." Anyhow, I messed that up, but kind of the gist of the old man versus the young man, right? Get off my lawn. You toop like. Donna, what is that? You toop like. Tupe like? I don't know what you're saying. Never play fair in a fight. Nope, never. I don't care if you already answered it or I said I just got on here. But you just asked me that a little bit ago, darling Dar. Sorry. You just asked that a little bit ago. In the half hour since you asked that, nothing's changed. Sorry. Donna, yes, Donna tends to keep me honest, and she likes to make sure I behave myself. So, YouTube doesn't like bad words. No, it doesn't. And I try to avoid using bad words, but sometimes, the bad word is just the right word. So, good bull story. Yeah, there you go. Are you old yet? Oh, yes, Murray. I am definitely the old bull. Do you prefer I go quiet, Rhonda? Now all the ladies are going to come out and beat me up. Wait till you get to civilization. Have to get a bad words jar. There you go. I'll go broke. I go broke. Hey, I didn't use the F word. I used the S word. That's not a bad word so much. I mean, there's Phillip head screws and slotted head screws. There's all kinds of screws. So, Donna's going to take me over to Checkered Apron. Hey, you never know, Coffee Time. I might like that. Heard that joke years ago. I was born in 57. Hey, there you go, Chip. I was born in 58. So, no doubt we had a similar upbringing. You weren't being dissed, Rhonda. Not at all. You don't need to go quiet. Small world, by the way. I did some diving with Dale and Justin a few months. Oh, really? Cool. Nice couple. Yeah, very nice, Joe. Yeah, I jealous. I'd like to get out diving. Yeah, Mark. I don't know. I'm not nearly as strong as I used. What's that song? I'm not as good as I used to be, but I'm as good as I used to be once or something. So maybe that somewhere along those lines. Hey, when you're sailing, you don't have to deal with tailgaters. That's true. Actually, Sorrenti, that's not necessarily true. I've been out on my boat and had other boats come up behind me. Sometimes you get a problem, especially with the commercial guys. They tend to run you over. I'm German, so I swear a lot by nature. There you go, Catfish. Me too. Born 12/31/51, New Year's Eve, another time and place. Wow, yeah, certainly was. I was born August 11, 1958, just turned 59. No, PC guy, I'm not diving Andrea Dory, I don't think. I think, if I remember correctly, she's kind of late, isn't she? Or deep? She's kind of deep. So, are you up to date on La Vagabond? Yes, I think so, Christy. I think so. I'm up to date with pretty much all the YouTube channels in the sailing genre. In fact, I had a conversation with someone the other day. They had some confusion about Delos because Delos's last video is them visiting family. Of course, that happened back during the holidays, back during Christmas. They're about 6 months. Well, actually, they're 8 now, going on 9 months behind where they actually are. Their boat is actually in South America right now, whereas La Vaga is in the Greek Isles, I believe, right now. Yeah, La Vaga, I don't know. They do seem to have changed somewhat. Toby Keith, there you go, Sally. Do you have fun sailing? Oh, hell yes, John. Love sailing. Absolutely love it. Call you're 10 days younger than my ex-wife. Coffee time, I don't know if that's good or bad. I'm not really sure how to take that. Huh. Anyhow, I know 300 feet is a very dangerous dive. I was just joking. Oh, no problem. Yeah, I don't do 300-foot dives. 120 feet is about my max, and even then, I much prefer diving 20 and 30 feet and 40 feet where I can actually have some bottom time than to go really deep. I don't like going really deep. Recreational limits I think are 120, 150. I like to stay well above that. Well above that. Actually, most of the really pretty and interesting stuff is in that top 50 feet of water. So that's where I tend to spend most of my time. Carlos II. You going to buy any Ruby Rose swag? I don't think so, Christy, but never say never. 1966. There you go, John. It's been an hour and a half on live feed. Yes, Don, I know. I'm running over. I'll end it here pretty soon. In terms of growing your channel, I think many people will be interested if you detail getting health and slim again. And I'm going to cover that somewhat, Don. I don't know to what degree. Certainly going to be part of the conversation as we're going along. Once I get on board, uh, things will be a lot different. And let me explain that. As a younger man, I owned a lot of horses and did a lot of riding, and I got broke up pretty good by the horses. And as a result of that, I now have a pretty bad back with a blown disc. I've had busted all my ribs on my left side. Both of my collarbones are busted. And so it's not as easy for me to walk as it used to be. And so that creates an issue for me getting out and doing a lot of exercise, and one of the contributing factors to the weight gain. And the nice thing about being on a boat, I mean, what the doctors have recommended to me as an exercise, the optimal exercise for me is swimming. I can't do that where I'm at here in Alaska. So getting on, one of my motivations, one of the many, but one of my motivations of getting on board the boat is I'll be able to swim every day and therefore be able to exercise in a non-impact environment. So I think my weight loss will drop pretty quickly. I think I'll have some good results fairly quickly. So, what was your optimal weight when younger? Peaceful Don. I was really skinny until I went to college, so I was like 180 or so. But I honestly think somewhere around 225 to 240 is a good size for me. I'm 6'3.5". So in that, 200 to 235, 240, somewhere in there would probably be really good for me. What are insurance costs for boat and health internationally? It just depends on where you are, how big your boat is. I am probably not going to carry insurance on either one while I'm out sailing. Health insurance internationally is an impossible thing to have to deal with. And I'm going to be buying a boat and paying cash for it, not having any debt in regard to it. So maybe I'll carry some basic liability on it, but that's going to be about it. So been there, done that with the horses. Yeah, I've been pretty beat up. So, hey, Martin, how you doing? You got here just as we're about to wrap up, but welcome. Bottom of your weekly for a great, bottom cleaning is a good workout. I can relate to your health too often, all with diabetes and high blood pressure. I don't doctor from anything, Coffee Time. I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have diabetes. I don't have anything physically wrong with me, except for I have one cyst on a kidney, and I have what they call elevated bilirubins, whatever the hell bilirubin is. It's a liver enzyme that's elevated, and it's not like seriously elevated. It's just higher than it should be. According to the last doctor that I went through and had everything checked, which was back in 2015. So I really think that I'll be able to drop a lot of this weight very quickly as we get along. Nicolo, shots of the exterior and interior of your cabin, please. If you look at some of my videos, my setup here that I have for live streams isn't really something that I can pick up and turn around. Last week I did it with my cell phone. If you look at my live stream, I used my cell phone last week, and I did that. I showed the inside of the cabin. So I'll refer you to that. But the setup I have right now isn't, I got too many things attached to my computer to be able to pick it up and turn it around and do that. So, sorry, I'll ask you to go down to the video. If you're in the water every day and try to live as much as you can from the sea, you'll get in better shape. Absolutely. Best ever I had. Absolutely. I have no doubt. You'll probably need liability. Don, I'm only going to need liability if I'm inside of a marina, and I don't plan on being inside a marina very often. So, what's in store for videos this week? Good question, Christy. I have a number of things actually I was going to delve into. I have, I just put up a video because this morning people were pissing me off, and I just wanted to put off a video telling people I was pissed off. Just because I'm a fat old bastard, guys, does not mean I can't sail. And that was the video was basically about this morning. I may be fat and obese and out of shape, guys, but up here in Alaska, I have to heat my cabin. I have to go out and cut trees down in the woods. I have to cut them in the log length. I have to drag those logs out of the woods. I have to cut those up into firewood length pieces, and then I have to split those with an axe, and then I have to carry them in, dry them, stack them, carry them in, get the heat going in the cabin. It's a ton of work. And I don't have a piece of equipment. I just do it by myself. I tie a rope around a log and I drag it through the woods. I'm accustomed to hard work. I've been farming my whole life. I've been raising animals my whole life. I can throw a 50-pound bag or a 100-pound bag of feed on my shoulder and carry it. Been there, done that, better part of my whole life. Sitting on a sailboat, pulling some ropes to adjust, I mean, it's just not that physically demanding. Anybody that thinks sailing is hard work ain't doing it right. So, yeah, chopping woods and dragging logs is not good for my back. No, definitely not. So, anyhow, that's what that was. I was just frustrated with all these idiots getting on. Well, you know, you're too big to fit on a boat. No, I'm not. So, and yeah, I take Lily for walks every day anyway. So, did you see the link I put? Yeah, PC guy, I responded to you. I actually use another type of one that's a little cheaper for my fire starter cubes. I don't like using the wax ones because I'm concerned that the wax ones will get a buildup not only in my stove but also up my chimney, causing difficulty cleaning that. So I tend to stay away from the wax type. They're great for charcoal, but in my wood stove, they're not recommended for that. So I use these pressed paper ones that work really well. I just have a bunch of them anyway. So I missed that, something about Confucius and fire. Oh, man who cuts on fire. Okay. Peaceful Dawn, if you looked at what most important, they could determine the winner of every boxing match by comparing body stats. Yeah, it's not body stats. It's what's in your mind and how determined you are to go do something. So we'll watch the rest of your stream tomorrow. Good luck. Hey, Catfish, you take care, buddy. What is in the head is so much more important. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just retired on the 30th, and maybe me and my daughter will sail, so hoping to see you soon. Hey, sounds good, John. We will be there. A man who cuts fire will get warm twice. Isn't that the truth? A million ways to the path, each unique and interesting. Yours is cool. Well, thank you, Peaceful Don. Appreciate it. Sailboat racing is all I have done so far. Yeah, Marie, and, you know, sailboat racing just isn't, I mean, it's fun and it's exciting, but, you know, it's not sailing, it's not living aboard a sailboat and cruising. That's a whole different situation. So, man who cuts cheese end up with stinking cabin. Yes, unfortunately, that is true, Chris. Unfortunately, that is true. But hey, guys, look, we're getting close to 2 hours here. Let's go ahead and nip this in the butt and save some conversation for later. We're going to go ahead and end this here. I'll ask you guys to please do like and subscribe to the channel if you would. I do have a nicely growing Patreon page, so if you would, you know, go check out my Patreon and see if you want to participate with that, become part of the inner circle. If not, well, it's perfectly okay if you don't. No problem at all. But I'm going to go ahead and head on out of here and see you guys later. So you guys take care. Have a great night, and we'll see you at the next live stream or my next video. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate everything you guys have done for me. I really do. Take care.